Good day, friends. My name is John Obumesi. I'm here to present the topic Tradocracy, Tradocratic system of government. A new system of government, reminiscence of democracy, but more advanced than democracy. Before I go into details of democracy, of Tradocracy, Tradocratic system of government, the new system of government developed by me, I would like to talk about the political trend in Nigeria today. I believe in the philosophy of Peter Obi. He believes in productivity. Nigeria has been a consumption country since inception, since independence. And any country that is not productive is liable to doom. Nigeria cannot just 100% depend on foreign technology, on foreign products. Nigeria does not produce our own indigenous cars, phones, and other technological products. This is abnormal. Independence is not only in signature. A country must be self-reliant in technology. Otherwise, if any advanced country decide to invade, they will easily invade and take over the sovereignty of Nigeria. Because most government that have been in the country did not encourage technological productions. For a country to be self-reliant, a country must be productive. Can you imagine even military hardwares are imported? We cannot produce strong military hardwares. So how are we secure? And how are we truly independent? True independence is not only by signature, it's by self-reliance in technological productions. Technological production in all spheres. And that is the reason why I believe I'm supporting Peter Obi, hoping that when it comes to power, it should include Tradocracy as one of the systems of government in Nigeria Constitution. I do know that it's only democracy that is included in Nigeria Constitution. If there are 2 to 3 systems included in Nigeria Constitution, or any other countries that want to practice Tradocracy, they should include it. So a country can choose which type of system of government to practice. That would be a matter of another day. Now, Tradocracy, the new system of government, is defined as government of the well-being of the people. It is structured into 4-arm system of government, a sovereign electoral commission, and departments of morality. The 4-arm system of government are the executive, the legislature, the researcher, and the judiciary. The researcher is a new arm of government that was introduced into Tradocracy because of the inequalities found in democratic practices. Democracy included a single perfection as an arm of government at the expense of all other perfections. This is at variance to normal cultural value. It is a pitfall and anomaly. Because of this anomaly in democracy, a new arm of government was developed called researcher. Researcher is a body of all professionals except law profession. No equity is expressed in democracy because of a single profession made as an arm of government. A lawyer or a judge uses book and electronics to store information. A lawyer and a judge do his proceedings in a house called building. Professionals made this available. Professionals like architects, engineers, carpenters, plumbers, and other professionals build houses, build the court, law proceedings are being made. Books that a lawyer uses to store proceedings and electronics a lawyer uses to store proceedings are made by professionals. Printing technologies produce books and engineers produce electronics. In fact, law profession cannot be studied without book be produced by professionals like printing technologies, or without electronics be produced by engineers. These are the materials used for studies. You cannot become a lawyer when these materials are not available. So all professions contribute to governance, contribute meaningfully to the welfare of the people. It was morally wrong to make law profession only as an arm of government at the expense of all other professions. This is gross inequality, and it's not right. The House of Researcher is a new, unique arm of government next to executive. Members of House of Researcher are elected from professional group to the House of Researcher. For instance, health professions will select 3 health professionals. Engineering profession we elect, they come to power through electoral process. We elect 3 engineers to the House of Research. Humanities, we elect 3 professionals from such unit. And military and other professional group, we elect 3 professionals each to the House of Research for the primary purpose of harmonization and industrialization. This elected member, representative of the House of Researcher, called researcher, spent 3 weeks on field work and 1 week in the House of Researcher for deliberation, appraisal, and approval of their findings or research findings. Once a researcher, otherwise known as representative of the House of Researcher, is sent to his primary area of assignment based on his specialty, for instance, engineer shall be sent to engineering firm to be involved in research in research development and develop new research foundations, go into the unknown, or fanto already established products for the purpose of economic advancement, productivity, and industrialization. When such research is concluded, the representative of the House of Researchers go to the House for deliberation, appraisal, and approval of research findings. When the research product is approved by the House of Researchers, it will be binding on executive to make it into a product for sales. By so doing, it will encourage economic development, industrialization, and development. What will be better than that? The executive is mandated to produce an approved product from the House of Researchers. Failure to do this may attract an impeachment proceedings on the president because it's an arm of government. However, if the product produced, government has no money to finance it, such product could be delayed. But other products developed that government has money to finance must be financed for purpose of development and welfare of the people. It is only Tradocracy system of government, this new system of government, that has such arm. Democracy doesn't have such arm. I know that there are some research centers controlled by executives. But in most developed communities, even when research is ongoing, people in power pay no attention to make it a marketable product. Another unique aspect of Tradocracy is equality of all perfections. You will realize that the executive arm of government in democracy has all the professional groups. For instance, president appoint ministers to head all the professional groups, like Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Technology, Ministry of Finance. They are all professional groups. However, and presidency has control profession of law, that's Ministry of Justice. At the same time, in democracy, there's an organ of government for law perfection, controlled by Chief Justice of the Federation. It's a separate arm of government, a law profession. Another law profession again under the control of president. But other professional groups have no arm. They are just throughout under the control of president. It is a gross abnormality in democratic practices. Because of this, Tradocracy was developed to bring in equity and equality to all. You see, that is the basic importance of researcher. When researches or products are developed from the House of Research, they don't have their own independent research. They go to already established firms, government firms, it could even be private firms, research centers, based on their specialty, to carry out research. But they must go into the unknown for the purpose of development, purpose of economic advancement and industrialization. Their product is bounding on government to produce. It's just like when a bill is passed, when Parliament passed a bill, government sign it into law. President sign it into law. However, there might be bills the president may not sign. It's either the House veto it or not. But in the case of this new arm of government, no product that shall be developed that will not be produced into products for sale by executives. It can only be delayed if there is no money, because failure to do it will attract heavy penalty. That will be the constitution of Tradocracy system. It's not a joking matter. Another unique institution of Tradocracy is the Sovereign Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission is sovereign in the sense that government do not appoint Electoral Commission member. Government do not police election. And government do not finance election. Parliament do not legislate for Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission has two autonomous bodies. The two autonomous bodies are Electoral Legislative Assembly that makes law only for Electoral Commission, and Electoral Monitoring Guide, a paramilitary unit of Electoral Commission that police election. Military, executive are not allowed to police election, because presidents, parliamentarians, governor, and all elected members are product of election. They cannot make law for Electoral Commission. Parliament making law for Electoral Commission or government policy election normally lead to pseudo-politics. Parliament could make law for their own interest. For instance, in democracy, because Parliament make law, they made their tenure to be a life tenure, because they made the law to mean it's not in order. If there is electoral assembly that makes law for electoral commission, such situation may not arise. Can you imagine parliamentarians during the process of legislations, they fight and they have immunity against that? How can you fight in public? What are law officers in workplaces, when they fight, they are expelled from office because they parliamentarians make law for themselves. They develop immunity against that. There's what we call a gross misconduct. You cannot behave like a child in the eyes of a whole nation. Due the process of making legislation, you fight because your ideas is at variance with another person's ideas. No, it's completely morally wrong. And Tradocracy, it shall be legally wrong. And there shall be penalty for such acts. Nobody shall be above the law. So, Tradocracy is a unique, advanced system of government, more unique than democracy and all other systems of government. So, an electoral commission makes election free for all. But in democracy, money is tied for electoral competition. When money is tied for electoral competition, capable persons, competent individuals, and major population of a country are ruled out from competing for any electoral position. This is grossly wrong. If democracy could make voting free, why can't competition be free? Voting is free in democracy because electoral commission provides logistics for voting. Electoral commission provides ballot papers, ballot boxes, and other material, including personnel, for voting to be made free. Why can electoral commission provide logistics for electoral competition? In Tradocracy, the sovereign electoral commission shall have machines, materials like cars and vehicles, craft, boats, print medias, electronic medias, and any other materials for campaign. Any candidate for electoral process or for election can freely make use of this material for campaign. And these materials will be available in all local government areas of the nations. The Electoral Commission is not financed by the government to prevent pseudo politics, but government can give grants. Electoral levies, they get money through electoral levies. Electoral levies are gotten from every individual residing in the country. This money is used to prepare electoral processes. And as such, electoral competition will be fair to all. When money is tied for electoral competition, what it means is that only the rich are selected or elected to rule over the affairs of people. This is a gross discrimination and inequality. You know, in most underdeveloped countries, or so many countries of the world, most people that are rich made money through questionable means, through immoral means. Not all, but a lot of people that are so rich, a lot of millionaires or billionaires that are rich. Some of them made money through illegal means. Some made money through government. What is why would a government be designed when you cannot ascertain somebody who made money through moral means? For the participation, you design a system of government for the participation of the rich only. So some people made money through government, fraudulent money. And these people are allowed to rule over the affairs of people. In the end, you complain that there's poor governance. This is one of the major ills, one of the major anomalies of democracy. It is very bad. Because government cannot determine, and some persons in a country make money through immoral means, election must be, electoral competition must be free for all. Electoral Commission has responsibility to finance parties, political parties. Any individual for electoral competition that uses money for campaign or to buy electoral form, such action will be regarded as treason, and such person will be disqualified and might be imprisoned. This is done to allow participation of all groups of people: the rich, the middle class, people from humble background, and the poor can compete freely for any political position, from the post of president to the least position in Tradocracy, because the way it is structured. It is painful that even in some countries, some states made education to be free. Why can't government or electoral commission make election to be free for the purpose of competency and capability? How would competent individual be selected from beginning? So what it means, the structure of democracy has fought from its root. It is not just to select a leader. The essence of a system of government is to select competent individuals to rule over the affairs of people. That is one thing people should bear in mind, that elected individuals are going to rule over the affairs of people. When you select mediocres, when you select incompetent individuals, everybody pays for it. Everybody suffers. So, Tradocracy is a unique system of government that needs to be practiced. And we advise any persons that wins election in Nigeria or in any countries of the world should include Tradocracy system in their constitution. Because I personally know that in Nigeria, it's only democracy that is included in the constitution. If Tradocracy is included, a country could decide which type of system of government to operate. Because for now, Tradocracy is an advanced and a modern system of government, far better than democracy. Again, Tradocracy has unique legislative process. The aspect of legislation in Tradocracy, there are two houses. There are two houses in Tradocracy. Two houses of parliament, in Tradocracy. There's the lower house of parliament and the upper house of parliament. The upper house of parliament could be house of peace if the country is predominantly made up of kingdoms, or could be senate if the country is a country of immigrants. House of peace, otherwise known as house of king, representative comes from traditional rulers. But senate, representative come from the people. And the lower house, representative come from the people. If a country is a country of immigrants, like most American countries, South American countries, North American countries, Oceanic countries, Australia, and some other countries are countries of immigrants. They may adopt Senate, of which representative come from public. But a situation whereby a country is predominantly made up of kingdoms, they will adopt House of Peace, otherwise known as House of Kings, of which representative comes from traditional rulers. However, House of Peace and Senate do not operate at the same time because they are both upper house of legislature. When Senate exists, House of Peace will not exist. So a country will decide which type of upper house of legislature to operate. But there's always lower house of legislature alongside with the type of upper house of legislature a country chooses to operate. The upper house of legislature elects the second man in power next to president. Because in Tradocracy, there is no vice president. But yes, in Tradocracy, there's no vice president. The second man in power is regarded as national leader, otherwise known as national onuji. He has constitutional role. Unlike democratic processes, vice president has no constitutional role. It's just a figurehead. It's only when he's an acting president. The second man in power in Tradocracy, known as national leader, controls traditional ministries. Ministry of Art and Culture, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Police Affairs, and Ministry of Health are under the control of national leader. He appoints ministers to head those ministries. But all other ministries, including Treasury Department, Central Bank, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Defense, and all other ministries are controlled by the president. And it's only the president that can create new ministries. But president and national leader, known as national energy, sign bills into law. However, president has 10 veto powers over the decision of national leader. This is dragged in to bring in check and balances. If a president did not agree with the decision of national leader, he can veto the decision of national leader. But national leader, the second man in power, has no veto power over the decision of president. By this, you will see that a country or state will advance steadily. And welfare of people, there will be good welfare of people in a country or state. And Tradocracy, with the structure and institution of Tradocracy, competency rules, not majority rules. Tradocracy system of electoral competition is not 100% dependent on voting patterns. I know in democracy, voting pattern takes order of the day. But in Tradocracy, voting is called as 50%. There's electoral examinations called as 30%. And electoral debate score as 20%. Candidate with the highest scores wins. In democracy, debate is just a social gathering. It's not scored. It's not part of political process. It's just a social gathering. I am appealing that Tradocracy should be tried by countries of the world. Because Tradocracy is not so known in the world today because there is low awareness. That is why I'm using this medium to promote Tradocracy system of government. Any countries that include researcher in a system of government, whether it's steering arms, you decide to include judiciary into researcher, it's called Tradocracy. But Tradocracy is a four-arm system of government that embraces equality of all professions. Thank you very much for listening. I shall seize my time to enlighten you more on Tradocracy system of government. A new and advanced system of government to democracy.